अस्सलाम वालेकुम। प्रोग्राम एम्बेसी रोड में खुश आमदीद। नाज़रीन, आज हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में हमारे मेहमान हैं पाकिस्तान में इस्लामी जमहूरिया ईरान के सफ़ीर जनाब मेहदी हुनर दोस्त। हम उनसे गुफ्तगू करेंगे पाकिस्तान और ईरान के बाहमी ताल्लुकात के हवाले से। पाकिस्तान और ईरान दो पड़ोसी बरादर मुल्क हैं और दोनों के दरमियान ये ख्वाहिश है, लोगों के दरमियान, हुकूमतों के दरमियान, कि उनके ताल्लुकात बेहतर हों। और इस ज़िम्न में हमारी मुज़ाकरात भी हमारे जारी रहते हैं और बातचीत होती रहती है। हम सफ़ीर साहब से पूछेंगे क्या इम्कानात हैं पाकिस्तान और ईरान के ताल्लुकात को बेहतर बनाने के लिए, खुसूसन मईशत और तजारत के शोबों में। एम्बेसडर, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस इन दिस प्रोग्राम।
Thank you to you and your colleagues, and every time the doors are open for our brothers, and we believe that for more talking and as this interview can support the better understanding among our brothers.
Ambassador, Pakistan and Iran are both brotherly neighboring countries, and you have been here and you have been efforting very hard to bring the two countries closer to each other and to actually generate an atmosphere of larger cooperation between the two countries. Have you been able to do that?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Really, it is evident to all that the neighboring countries are very important and the others for all of the countries. And especially when you look at the potentials for the relation and the promotion of the relation between Iran and Pakistan as the two neighboring countries, as a two unique relation in the region, and sometimes I believe that we can say in the world, with a lot of commonalities, common concerns, common interests. Pakistan is very important for us and also is very important for the region and for the activation for all of the potentials that we have. Really, Pakistan was my choice for coming to the mission after 3 decades working foreign ministry, and so I'm so convinced and satisfied for working in this field, because we believe that any step that we took was benefit to the two countries, and we look to the better future for the two sides. Fortunately, in last 2 years, less than 2 years, but from the first day I came here and I started my work, fortunately under the interaction and good cooperation with our brothers here, and under the desire and the wills of the two leaders of the two countries, we tried the best, and we had a lot of achievements. And in spite of that, we have some impediments, for example, in trade and business, with huge potentials that the two big countries they have, in spite of banking transaction ban that imposed to our country. But fortunately, last year we have 35% increasing in trade between two countries. And this 35% was not only from one side. It is
from both sides.
From both sides. It is some part of the ambassador that they believe that they are the ambassador of the relations, for promotion of the relation. Alhamdulillah, we have, for example, 15% we have increased for the export of the Pakistani rice to Iran.
But Mr. You mentioned that there are some impediments. I mean, there are opportunities for the two countries to expand the trade, and there are impediments. And have you been able to identify those impediments so they are removed, and space is created for larger trade between Pakistan and Iran?
Yes. When I said impediments and obstacle, the banking transaction ban is exactly that your hands are closed.
And,
right. Yes. And so the both sides, according to the importance of this matter, they tried the best. And from the first visit of our president, because he had two visits last year. First visit, the two central banks, they agreed for make for
Transaction
making
through banks.
banking transaction and roadmap
Yes.
for the banking transaction between the countries. And so they tried the best, and fortunately 90% of this matter has done already, and they're waiting for the final step for this matter. After banking transaction between two countries and the opening the LCs, letter of credits, and really one of the most important impediments will be lifted, inshallah. Okay. And the other other problem that we have is that, you know, some businessmen in the two sides, they have some conservativeness and some, they have some consideration for coming further and coming faster than the past. That's something that many times in many of my meetings in my country and also here, I encourage them really with these huge potentials. Iran as a rich and big countries, Pakistan with 200 million population and a lot of opportunities. But one of the important impediments that we have is the lack of information from the both sides.
So, the lack of information, what steps could be taken? I mean, there could be a possibility of establishing joint chambers of commerce of traders, Pakistan and Iran, and some, joint bodies or joint mechanism to promote the trade between the two countries.
We have a lot of channels for this matter that should be activated. For example, something that we need, that the Pakistani side try to have news agency in Pakistan representative. It is very important. Your TV.
But IRNA is already operating in Pakistan.
IRNA in Pakistan, but not Pakistan in Iran.
Okay, ABP is not there.
No.
Okay.
Officially, no. And so it is very important. And the other side, for example, the Iranian IRIB is here, and we need for more interaction, more giving, information about the countries. Sometimes I became shocked when I asked to some friends here that they would like to work with Iran, and the information about the big emperor and big country as Iran is zero. I asked him, how many times you travel to Iran? He said, no. How can you work?
So in order to promote a better understanding between the two countries, the people, the history of Iran, Pakistan, you think that tourism can be promoted, and one of the mechanisms could be the promotion of tourism?
Exactly. We have some potentials that should be activated. One of them is that in spite of that, we have the Chamber of Commerce of the two countries. They are in touch with them together, and also we are in contact. But we need more contacts, more presentation, and more give information to their neighboring countries. It is very important. And so the other side that is very important is that the tourism that you say. Iran is the history country. You cannot find as country more than 4 or 5 countries in the world with huge potentials in this regard. And with these 200 million population that mostly they are interested to Iran.
Yes. Ambassador, sometime, of course, Pakistan, Iran are neighboring countries, brotherly countries, but sometimes the incidents on the border, firing or abduction of people or killing of people, creates an impression that there is some kind of deficiency between the two countries. The trade, the trust deficit is there. So how to remove this phenomena of trust deficit.
Very good issue that you said. You know, Iran and Pakistan, they have line borders. And in the history, that border was the border of the friendship and peace. And so, from the both sides, both sides should try to take care more than the past. Because in the region, there are some groups affiliated to the third parties that they are not convinced and satisfied about the good relation between two countries. Anybody knows the sound relation between Iran and Pakistan in everything, especially, alhamdulillah, was promoted in last 2 years. In all of the aspects of the relation, we had promotion.
Yes.
In everything. And we need more. And so it means that some common concerns that I said, one of them is the terrorism. Both countries, Iran and Pakistan, they are victims of terrorism.
They are suffering from terrorism.
Both countries, they suffered a lot of pain. Both countries, they are involved to this matter. And so it is one of the most important commonalities between the countries. And so the activities of the illegal groups on the border areas, that I'm sure anybody from the both countries, they are sure that it's not benefit to the...
But how to actually eliminate this threat of extremists and terrorists? Can there be a mechanism, border management mechanism, or there could be a better security management on the border so that these incidents are completely eliminated?
Fortunately, we had some commissions, some committees, some frames for this matter. And from last incident that we have on the border, exactly 4 months and 10 days before, one terrorist group attacked to Iranian Guardian post, and they killed 10 persons from the Iranian guards, that they were on the duty of the road of the drug traffickers. Because the border of Iran and Pakistan is not military border.
Yes.
Something that we should take care and we open our eyes is that the drugs comes to Pakistan, after Pakistan overlaps to
Iran
for going to
Turkey
Europe.
and Europe.
And so both countries, they are located on the road of the drug trafficking. And so they attacked to one guard that the duty was against drug traffickers. And they killed 10 persons and captured one young soldier. Right now is in the hand of the terrorists in the region. And so after that, connection, negotiation, and between two relevant department and relevant section and authorities, especially in military, promoted and enhanced. And so after that, we reached that connection and negotiation and reached to agreements and for more attention to the border, because it is very important. We have 940 kilometers inland.
Very long borders, yes, very long border.
And we have, some common tribes on there. And so control over that area is not so easy. But the both sides, they have common concern regarding this matter. The both sides have common interest about it. And so nowadays we reached fortunately promotion in this matter, and inshallah we hope that in the future we have not
we'll
like
be able
this.
to do that. Ambassador, thank you. We'll take a short break and we'll come back and continue this discussion. नाज़रीन, एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक करीब आ सकते हैं और ख़ास तौर पर जो रुकावटें हैं ताल्लुकात को बेहतर बनाने के लिए, उन रुकावटों को किस तरह से ख़त्म किया जा सकता है. Ambassador, coming to this region, the new President of the United States of America has announced a policy for Afghanistan. And in that policy, the U.S. administration, the new president, has threatened that actions would be taken against the safe havens of terrorists, and actually that is Pakistan specific. And that threat has created a lot of alarm in Pakistan, and Pakistan is worried that the new Afghan policy of the United States can create problems for Pakistan.
According to the Islamic Republic of Iran's foreign policy, and some important part of our policy that many times by Iranian authorities announced, we believe that the regional cooperation is the only way for overcoming to our problems. And so for this matter, the role of the important and big countries, they are more than the others.
In the region.
In the region. Especially among the Muslim families. Pakistan is one of them. That this country has great potentials in this regard. And so, according to the Iranian policy, and some potentials, great potentials in the big Islamic countries in the region, we believe that we are self-efficient for overcoming all of the matters, all of the issues, all of the conflict among the region, and we need no interfere by the superpowers. We believe that any time in the history, the superpowers, they came for some reasons, outcome was something else. You can look.
They had their own agenda.
Yeah, exactly. You can look at Iraq. You can look at the Afghanistan. When they came for the peace, and what was the result? And we have everything that we need. And we believe that all of the matters and the conflicts and
can be resolved
can be resolved
regionally
through the diplomatic
Yes.
negotiation, especially with this rich culture that we have in the history. We need there is no need to any interfere by the powers in the region.
External powers. Yes.
Only for interfere, only for deterioration of the situation, and give the chaotic situation to the region. We should not look to the foreign mercies, foreign favors to us. We have everything, and so we should be more active, come together, and with this
solve the
belief,
problem through diplomatic channels. Yes.
exactly.
And
Under this belief that our enemies, they have no mercy to us.
Our foreign minister recently visited Tehran, and he met the president and other leaders in Tehran. Was it concerning the Afghanistan issue, or it covered all the aspects of relations between the two countries?
You know, two neighboring countries as Iran and Pakistan, they have a lot of matters for talking among between the brothers, between the high level of authorities of the two countries. And maybe the Afghanistan was one of them. But we have lots of matters because of the importance of the relation. But something that I can emphasize about it, that visit was fully fruitful. And I believe that, Alhamdulillah, the road is totally paved, and the brotherly looking of the two sides is continued to each other. And the both countries, they understand very well that they should shake hands with their neighboring countries, and they should not wait for some third parties.
Right. Afghanistan, as you said, that this can be solved, the Afghan problem can be solved through regional efforts, through negotiations, through diplomatic efforts. So what is the idea in your mind or in the minds of leaders in Iran, how to go about it? I mean, there should be a regional mechanism, or the regional countries should join hands and they should be able to come out with a solution?
Afghanistan is the neighboring countries for Iran and Pakistan. And anybody knows that the Iran and Pakistan, they received any consequences, any side effect for everything. The both countries, they are interested for the peace and tranquility in that country, because you cannot keep fire in your country. It means they overlap to your neighbor.
Yes.
And Iran and Pakistan, the main priorities of these two countries is the economic and trade, because the two great nations, they are deserved to the promotion of the relation, especially in the trade and business. And for the promotion of the trade and business needs the peace and tranquility. You cannot go for the promotion and expansion of the trade and business under the chaotic situation. And so, it is the first that the Iran and Pakistan, they are interested for peace and tranquility in Afghanistan. Iran believes, and I'm sure that here also this is prevalent view for that any cooperation should be done through the legal government, central government of Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is our neighboring country, and any cooperation with that country should be done under the governmental section and channels. And we believe that not only in this matter, for the overcoming to all of the issues and problem that we have in this regard, the cooperation that is enough among the Muslim, among the brothers.
What is Iran's view of the negotiations between the government of Afghanistan and the Taliban? I mean, if they sit together and resolve the issue through talks and through negotiations, and they finally evolve a negotiated settlement of the Afghan crisis, will that be acceptable to Iran also?
Okay, according to the coexistence between Iran and Afghanistan, we never like to interfere in their internal affairs. It is totally up to the government. They would like to talk, they wouldn't like. But something that we are waiting for that is more and more peace and tranquility and stability in the region. Any turmoil in the region is against our benefits, especially in our neighboring countries. And so it is totally right of the government of Kabul. But we said welcome for any negotiations through the diplomatic and peacefully and brotherly talking and among the
United States has decided to send more troops to Afghanistan, almost 4,000 more troops, and the President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, is, looking at Afghanistan from a different angle, and he wants this country to become peaceful through a military solution or through increasing troops in Afghanistan. Do you think that it will work?
In general view and stance and position of the Iranian authorities in many times and in the past and current years and for the future, we against to any foreign troops and presence, military presence in the region. There is no benefits to those countries that they accepted, and also we believe that they are not interested to our national interest, and we totally against for the foreigners interfere in the internal affairs of any country in the world, especially our neighboring countries.
Another issue that is now becoming very heated, and it is the American pressure on Iran. The pressure is increasing. You had a negotiated settlement of the nuclear issue, nuclear crisis, and despite that, the Americans are not happy, not satisfied. Particularly, the new U.S. administration is applying more and more pressure on Iran and labeling, Iran as a terrorist state, as a state which is sponsoring terrorism, and threats are emanating from Washington for Tehran.
Uh, from 4 decades before, it means after Iranian Revolution, Islamic Revolution, we have a strained relation with America. And that was only because of the wrong policy towards our nation. And after that, it means in recent 4 decades, we stand against the arrogance and the arrogant power of the Americans in the world, and especially in the region. Of course, it is clear that America is against us, and they don't like one country as Iran say and believe something out of their minds. America in the region, and especially against our country, is not new policy. There is not different. There is not so big difference between.
But Ambassador, after this agreement on nuclear issue, it was expected that the relations between the U.S. and Iran will improve, and sanctions would be lifted, and there will be a normal relationship between the two countries. But that didn't happen.
That happened under the new administration of Trump, that they are so aggressive than the others and their predecessors. But it is not exactly toward us. Totally, this policy is about all of the countries in the world. You cannot find any countries that they are convinced for this new approach by the Americans. And
bullying other countries.
Exactly. Under the 5+1 agreement between Iran and for the atomic dossier, really we expected, in spite of that, some higher authorities in Iran, they had some ideas. They are not.
They had reservations about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
For example, they said we cannot trust on America.
Yes.
From the first day and before the agreement.
Yeah.
And right now, with new approach by the America, it shows exactly that they are right. Of course, many European countries, they said...
This, I think, President Rouhani, who is considered in the West and other countries as a moderate. So by doing so, by actually jeopardizing this agreement, they have also compromised the position of the President of Iran, because he thought that things will improve.
I believe, according to the facts, United States is not able to, to deteriorate this agreement, because it is not a bilateral agreement.
It's a multilateral.
Multilateral agreement. And so, but something that they can do, the sanction totally divided to 2 parts. One part is under the atomic dossier, that we believe it should be lifted, it should be removed. The other side, under the strained relation with Iran, between Iran and America, it is under the dollar transaction. Yes, nobody is optimistic about the future relation between Iran and America, because they continue to bully approach to all of the issues in the world, and they are not believed for 50% on the table. And Iran, as a historic and powerful and great and cohesive people, never accept this bully approach, and we suffered a lot of pressure, but we cannot take one step back. And so I believe, it is personally my belief, that the America is not able to set aside this agreement. But under their bully approach, as an arrogant power in the world, they can deteriorate and make problems.
Ambassador, we'll take a short break again and we'll continue the discussion, the last part. नाज़रीन, एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम पाकिस्तान में फिर से और वो हमें बता रहे हैं कि अमेरिका किस तरह की एक बुली अप्रोच जो है उसके साथ ईरान के साथ बर्ताव कर रहा है और ईरान का इसके ऊपर क्या रद्द अमल है. Coming back to the region, Ambassador, Pakistan, Iran had basically negotiated gas pipeline project some time back, and I think Pakistan was looking at it as a very important project because supply of gas to Pakistan would have basically alleviated the problems related to the energy, and energy shortages would have been overcome, but that did not happen.
One of the biggest projects between the countries that from first day of my tenure here, I follow the case. I follow up the case was the IP, Iranian gas pipeline to Pakistan. According to the facts, this project really is very key project and very important for the energy hunger as a country as like as Pakistan. With this huge amount of the capacity of the sources of the gas, Iran spent $2 billion for pipeline come close to the border, not exactly to the
Pakistan's
point,
border.
to Pakistan border.
Yes.
It is right now exactly 180 kilometers to Pakistan. But we paid already and we laid the pipe from the south part of Iran comes to eastern part. And if the both sides agreed for take a step regarding to this project, Iran can be complete this project maximum in 6 months, because we 90% of project had done already. But the other side, under the some pretexts, under the some reasons, our brothers here, they said they are not able to complete this project. In spite of that, anybody knows, and it is evident to all that no energy sources can compare with the IPs. Yes, Pakistan right now import LNG.
From Qatar.
From Qatar.
Yes.
That's good. Diversity of this markets is very good policy. Very good policy. And LPG from Iran. But pipeline, so safe, cheaper in the access.
But we were hearing that the differences arose on the fixing of price. Was that the main reason for this project to be stalled?
Of course, the price of the gas is important for any contracts, but right now it hasn't priority. Something that is has more priority than the Pakistani side, according to the agreement that some years back we reached and we signed. They should go faster than the past and for putting and for doing their commitments.
But Excellency, what do you think? What is the reason? I mean, is Pakistan under some foreign pressure or influence, or it's purely for economic reasons that Pakistan is dragging its feet on this project?
My brother, I received some mixed reasons, but it is not my duty that answer to one by one and said that which one is correct or which one is exaggerated. It's not my business. Something that is my business exactly is that nobody can ignore the importance and the role of the Iranian gas when it arrives and comes to Pakistan.
I think it's very cheap.
Not only, it can change the face of the economy of the Pakistan. Creation of the jobs. Put the end to power failure. and all of the productions that we can have under this cheap energy.
At some stage, our ministers and some other responsible people would argue that because of the sanctions, the American sanctions, they cannot proceed on this project, they cannot go forward. But once the sanctions were lifted, you know, some time back, it was easier for them to do it.
According to the international regulations, international regulations, no country can put obstacles for your the road of your energy for any requirements that you need for your people. According to the international regulations, nobody can put a stop in this way. From the other side, Iran and Pakistan, they enjoyed very sound relations. Pakistani side, they know very well that Iran, as like as some exporters in the world, never imposed any conditions.
Yes.
And never imposed any conditions, because Pakistan is some part of our heart. Only we have the geographical border for the better management, but nobody can divide these two countries. Our destiny is the same, our concern is the same, our everything is the same. And so this huge amount of the Iranian gas can totally, economy of the neighboring countries like as Pakistan, put on the jumping board. You are very young people, countries. You have a lot of youngsters.
63% of our population is young, yes.
And also 65% of my population.
Iranian. Yes.
Iranian. And so you have huge youngsters.
Yes.
The main priorities for any governments is the creation of the job and the better life and the future for these young people.
Yes.
And the economy and trade and the better life and the better benefits and the salaries and the incomes is the ignorable.
Ambassador, I know that you have worked very hard, to promote the trade and commercial relations between the two countries. So have you been able to achieve some success, or you have been able to identify other areas where the two countries can move forward?
Alhamdulillah, as I said, one of my achievements that I am so proud about it. Because let me tell you, many times it is my motto that the friendly relation, brotherly relation, good relation is not enough for saying. It is good story. Something that the two people should have, it is tangible.
Yes.
Should be tangible. And what is
visible, tangible and practical.
Exactly. When we said that it's not enough that we said only the two history countries, two history relation, brotherly relation, okay, so what?
But that's not enough.
So what? And so we tried the best. I told to your Prime Minister, and also I promised to my authorities that I tried the best. After 3 decades working in foreign ministry, and most of my life was concentrated in the big countries in the world, especially in these Asian countries, and especially on the economic and trade and business. And my priorities is reach to 5 billion that the two countries, they agreed as a first step up to 2 years.
$5 billion.
$5 billion bilateral.
Okay.
When I started my work here, the bilateral trade was 400 millions. And 2 years back reached to 700 millions. And last year we reached to $1.2 billion. And inshallah, after opening these tight hands, it means banking transaction, be sure about it, this figure
will go
jumped, not go up, it jumped.
Yes.
And in connection and more be in touch between the two Chamber of Commerces and people to people's business and the border markets, that it is very important, because for any step that you take regarding to the promotion of the trade and business especially in the border, one step you go onward to the peace and tranquility. When your people located on the border, they have job, they have trade, they never go to
They will
the
not
terrorist
fight with
groups.
each other.
No, they never absorbed by the terrorist groups.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Ambassador. Very kind of you. नाज़रीन, आज इस प्रोग्राम में आपने पाकिस्तान में इस्लामी जमहूरिया ईरान के सफ़ीर जनाब मेहदी और दोस्त की गुफ्तगू सुनी। उन्होंने कहा कि पाकिस्तान और ईरान दोनों बरादर इस्लामी मुल्क हैं, नेबरिंग कंट्रीज़ हैं, पड़ोसी मुल्क हैं। दोनों के दरमियान तजारत और मईशत में पेशरफ्त होनी चाहिए। उन्होंने बहुत कोशिश की और उन्होंने कहा कि मैंने पाकिस्तान और ईरान के दरमियान तजारत को $400 मिलियन से $1.2 अरब तक पहुँचा दिया है और उनका ख्याल है कि हम 2 साल के अरसा में $5 अरब तक जा सकते हैं। उनकी ये कोशिशें जारी हैं और तवक्को है कि पाकिस्तान और ईरान के दरमियान तजारत जो है उसमें मज़ीद इजाफ़ा होगा और मईशत के शोबों में दोनों ममालिक एक दूसरे से ताउन करेंगे। ईरान के सफ़ीर ने अफ़गानिस्तान में अमन और ख़ित्ते में क़याम अमन और इस्तेकाम के ऊपर भी बात की है और अमेरिका की जो धौंस और धांधली वाली पॉलिसी है उस पर भी उन्होंने गुफ्तगू की है। इसी के साथ ये प्रोग्राम ख़त्म होता है। जावेद सिद्दीक़ को इजाज़त दीजिए। खुदा हाफिज़। Ambassador, thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.